right, so do you guys remember what we read about before? What have we read about so far?
You'll have to unmute yourself to talk.
Last week we learned about Easter.
Last week we learned about.
What is Easter all about?
Hello. It's my mommy. That's my call.
Okay.
What color was last week? Did everyone mute themselves? Caleb, do you remember what color we did last week?
No.
No? I'm missing. Yes, red. Why did we, what was red? What in our story was red?
Jesus,
Remember he was on the cross and what came out of his body?
his heart.
His heart didn't come out of his body. What came out of his body? What is flowing inside your body?
His blood, right? Yeah.
Okay, so remember we had black hearts that were full of sin. Whenever we do things that God doesn't want us to do, that is sin, and it makes our hearts black and dirty. But Jesus died on the cross and shed his blood so that we can know Jesus again, so that we don't have to have dirty hearts anymore. So today we're going to learn about all the fun miracles that Jesus did and what color our hearts are now after he has cleaned them. Are you guys ready? Santi's going to read our first part of the story.
All right. So it's called Jesus the Miracle Worker. When Jesus walked upon this earth, he healed the sick and poor. We call these healings miracles. Would you like to hear some more? Would you guys? Would you like to hear more about God making sick people better?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes? All right. A friend named Lazarus. What was his name?
Lazarus.
Lazarus. Very good. Can everybody say Lazarus?
Lazarus.
Very good. A friend named Lazarus had been in a tomb for 4 long days. How many days had Lazarus been in the tomb?
4.
Good job. Jesus raised him from the dead while all around gave praise. Here's another story. So the first miracle was that Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. Here's the second one. When sailing on the stormy seas, the disciples grew afraid. Has anyone ever been in a boat when you were scared? No? Caleb, have you?
No.
How about you? Oh, Ryan, you're muted. I don't know if you can tell me.
Have you been in
Have you ever been in a boat and you were scared because there were lots of waves and the boat was moving around a lot? Has that happened to you, Ryan? No? Yeah, well, that hasn't happened to me either. But that's what happened to the disciples of Jesus. So the disciples were afraid because the boat was moving and they just didn't know what to do. But then Jesus spoke out loud, "Peace, be still." And the waves obeyed him and they stopped. Isn't that crazy, guys?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even the waves and the wind obey Jesus. Let's listen to another one. This one is about two blind men. What does blind mean?
It means you can't see.
That's right. If you're blind, you can't see. So two blind men, let me show you the picture real quick. Okay, two blind men came to Jesus. Please heal us, they both cried. Do you believe? He asked the two. Okay, gotta make sure you're with me. What question did Jesus ask them? Do you believe? That's right. And their eyes open wide. So, how did the two blind men get healed, guys? What did they do? What was their answer to Jesus' question? Did they do something or did they just believe?
They just believe.
They just believed. Good job. So their belief made them not sick anymore, made them not blind anymore. Let's hear about another one. One day, a crowd of thousands of people needed to be fed. They all were served with just 2 fish and 5 small loaves of bread. How many fish?
2.
2, good. And how many small loaves of bread?
2.
It was
5.
2. Very good. 2 fish and 5 small loaves of bread. Jesus fed everybody with just 2 fish and 5 small loaves of bread. That's not very much food, is it?
No.
And he made it so that was enough for thousands of people. Jesus still does miracles, and you can have a part. Say, I'm sorry for my sins. Please come into my heart.
I'm sorry.
All right, are you guys ready for the next story? Okay. Here we go.
To start when Jesus began to call his 12 disciples. Do you remember the 12 disciples?
Caleb, do you remember some of the 12 disciples' names?
No.
You don't. Ryan, do you know any of the disciples' names?
Because of that, shouldn't you
You should know at least one.
Yes.
Which one do you have?
John 11:25.
You're right, John is one. And Matthew and Mark, right? Peter. Yeah. Peter.
What?
Okay.
It says 12 men joined Jesus as he began to teach. Some were fishermen who left their nets on the beach. There they are. Left their nets on the beach. They became disciples and followed Jesus' every word, and many other people were amazed at what they heard. Jesus taught the people with wise words and deeds. He fed those who were hungry and helped anyone in need. So there's the story that Santi was just telling us, I think. See all the bread that the people are eating? He had the power to heal those who could not walk. He made blind men to see and helped the mute to talk. Okay, So real quick in this part, what do you see in this picture? Can you see the picture? What do you think happened?
I don't know.
What are these
Need
people?
crutches.
Crutches. What do you need crutches for?
Crutches.
When do people need crutches?
I can't hear you. What? I can't hear you. What?
When do people need to use crutches?
Or a cane. Big stick that they use.
To walk.
To walk. Why? What happened to them that they need help to walk?
If they get a broken leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they have a broken leg. Maybe their legs don't work at all. Now we might have wheelchairs, but back in Jesus' day, they didn't have wheelchairs, so they might have just used crutches to help them walk, right? Or maybe they just sat on the ground and they scooted along. Okay, so that would be really hard, wouldn't it, if you couldn't walk? Would that make you sad? Yeah? But it says Jesus had the power to heal those who could not walk. So this person right here, does he look sad?
How does he look, guys?
Does he look sad? You see him?
Yeah.
He doesn't look sad to me.
He's happy.
Yeah, he's happy.
He's
He's what?
happy.
Why is he happy?
What is he happy?
What did Jesus do that made him happy?
This is a
Everyone's freezing. Jesus healed this man who couldn't walk. And now he can walk, and so he's so happy, right? Before, he was sad because he couldn't walk at all and he had to use crutches, and now he's happy, right? Okay. Oh, do you know what mute means? This word right here, mute.
not talking.
Good, Micah, not talking. And it says Jesus made blind men who couldn't see. He could all of a sudden see. And he helped the mute, the people who couldn't talk, to talk. Right? That's pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. On the lake one day, a mighty storm came down. Jesus was asleep, but his friends thought they would drown. And then woke Jesus. He said, "Do not fear." With a word, he calmed the storm. At once, the sky was clear. No storms. Over here, we have storms, right? And this is what Miss Santi was talking about too. They're so scared because look at these big waves. But soon, Jesus says, "Do not be afraid." And what did he say? What did Miss Santi read to us? What were the words he said? Remember?
I got
And stop.
stop.
Right? Peace, be still. And here they are, still. And the sunshine came out. Just because Jesus is so powerful. I think that's all we have for his miracles.
Thank you, Miss Erin.
Ah.
All right. I have a fun science experiment. Do you guys remember when I told you we were going to do an experiment today? Yeah?
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for our experiment? Okay.
Why did Jesus have to die? You know, that's a question that we all ask at some point, and I want to explain it in a way that might make sense with a visual. You see, Jesus came to take the punishment of our sin, the sin that you have done or would ever do. That's what he came to do. And see, you here look pretty good. I mean, come on, you look nice and clean, just the way you were meant to be. Oh, I could drink you up. But we've all done stuff that we shouldn't do. We've all sinned in different ways. And the problem is when we sin and we bring sin into our lives, it changes us. It changes who we are, and suddenly there's elements in us that weren't meant to be there. Maybe it's bad attitudes, or you yelled at your parents, or you lied to a friend, or you cheated on a test, or you hurt someone, or you hurt yourself. Whatever it might be, it's not the way you were meant to be. And God saw this, and he didn't want it to be this way. He said, this was not how I intended you to be. So God had a perfect rescue plan. And that rescue plan was Jesus. Now, Jesus was perfect. He came and he lived a perfect life. He was without sin. So the question was, what would happen if Jesus took the sin of the whole world, all of the sin, and put it in himself? And so he went to the cross and he took our sin. And Jesus took all that sin and put it in himself. But that's the thing, is Jesus took our sin to the grave, but then he left it there. He left that sin in the grave, and he came back with new life for all of us. And he was still perfect and pure and blameless and everything that we needed. And so you, with all of our sin and with all that's inside of us, you have the ability to say yes to Jesus, because we don't need sin anymore. Sin has been defeated by the power of the cross and what Jesus did and the power of his resurrection. And so when you say yes to Jesus and you ask him to fill you with his power, it changes everything. Jesus brings freedom. You couldn't have taken this out on your own. You could not remove the sin from yourself. Only Jesus could do that, because he died and rose again to defeat the power of sin and bring us true freedom. And that's why Jesus had to die.
Isn't that awesome?
That was so cool.
All right. So so we had, what color in the beginning? What color were our hearts when they were full of sin? What color? You remember?
Purple.
Black. Black. Our hearts were black when we were full of sin. And then what happened afterwards?
Red.
What's the red?
Blood.
Jesus' blood for Easter, like we read about last week. Jesus' blood paid for our sin. Just like we saw in the video just a minute ago, we put all the color, all the sin in Jesus. And what color are our hearts now?
White.
White. Yes. When you clean your clothes, they get dark again, right? When you clean your clothes, they're not dirty anymore. They get clean. Yeah. So that's what Jesus does to us. In our story today, there were people who were hurt, and then after Jesus came and fixed them, they didn't hurt anymore, did they? There were people who were hungry, and Jesus fed them. Are you hungry anymore after you finish eating?
No.
No, because your food fills up your tummy. So Jesus fills up our hearts too. What happened to the people who couldn't see anymore? What did Jesus do?
Make them see.
Yes, he made them see again. So when Jesus comes into our lives, our whole lives can change. Our hearts go from black to white. our lives go from hungry to full, from broken. What's the opposite of broken?
Fixed.
Yes, fixed. From broken to fixed. What about, what's the opposite of dark? If it's really dark at night and you can't see anything and you're bumping into stuff, what's the opposite of dark?
Light.
Yes, light. That now you can see, so you don't bump into stuff anymore, right? That's no fun. No one wants to bump into everything.
That's hello.
Yeah, all right. So do you guys know what color we're gonna do next week?
Yes, I know.
Who can guess what color we're gonna do next week?
Red.
Red was last week.
Black.
What are some colors we haven't done yet?
Purple.
Maybe purple. Any other guesses?
Yellow.
Ooh, yellow. Didn't we already do yellow in the very beginning?
Yeah.
Remember what yellow was?
Caleb got it.
Blue.
Maybe. You'll have to come back next week. Maybe purple, maybe
White.
white was today.
What?
Our hearts are all clean now. Like when you wash the dishes and there's nothing dirty left on them, now they're clean. Yeah. Okay, so this week, we've, the last couple weeks, you guys have been drawing pictures, right? With a different color each week. So this week is gonna be a little weird because it's kind of hard to draw with white, but I want you to think of a way that you could draw with white, maybe on black paper, or maybe your picture is just white crayon on white paper, and we're gonna put all of our pictures together in a couple weeks to make a book with all of our colors so we can tell the whole story of the Bible just with colors. You think we can do that? Sound like something we can do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mine on the computer. You just saw a little piece of it with the colored hearts. I added a little bit more to it. Mine is too. Mikey, can you draw those pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yay.
I want to see your pictures. I want to see your books when we put them all together. All right. What was our first color?
Yellow.
Yellow. Good job.
And why is it yellow? What's yellow?
Like joy.
What?
Joy. Ducks.
Remember, God
Ducks.
made
Ducks.
everything. He made everything.
Yeah. So Becca's sharing our verse with you. In the beginning, God made everything, and it was very, very good. So yellow's like the sun, like heaven. Everything is bright and shiny and beautiful, just the way God made it. And then what do we do? What do we do after God made everything perfect?
What does this mean?
I don't know. We sinned.
Have sinned.
Sin, that's right.
Short of God's glory. Yeah, we all sinned. We messed it up. We turned that pretty yellow heart into black, right? Last week we read how Jesus used his red blood to change our hearts, and now we have white hearts. All right, so next week we'll come back and find out what the next color is. Are you guys excited?
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes, Ryan, I love it. All right, we have, let me pull up our verse for today. All right, are you guys ready for our verse for today?
Yeah.
Our verse is 2 Corinthians 5:17. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new is here. Do you guys remember the sign for Jesus that we did last week? Remember? Jesus' hands had holes in them from the nails on the cross. This is Jesus.
I don't see it.
Can you do that?
This is Jesus.
Good job, Ryan.
Right, good job.
Yes. So if anyone is in Jesus,
Jesus. I don't.
can you use your hand like it's a plant that's growing out of the ground? That's new. If anyone is in Jesus, he is a new creation. Do you know what the sign is for old?
Oh, it's like a beard. Like an
You
old
guys have
beard.
beards, long beards. Have you seen the movies or Harry Potter? There's really old people with some really long beards. Yeah, so that's old.
My dad has a beard.
And it's getting long, isn't it?
It's not. It's not. It's not.
Yes. All right. So, if anyone is in Jesus, he is a new creation. The old gone away. We throw it away. Can you throw it away? Throw it away. Throw it somewhere far away. We don't want our old broken hearts anymore. And the new is here. So we're going to do new again. You guys ready to do it together?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. If anyone is in Jesus, he is a new creation. The old has gone, and the new is here. Does anyone want to show that verse to us? Anyone want to share it for everyone? Ryan, is that you? You want to do it? Okay, go ahead and show us the verse. If anyone is in
If anyone risen in Jesus,
he
he's a
Do the actions. You're not supposed to hold me.
new creation. The
creation. Thrown away.
Yes, throw away the old, and then what is here?
The new.
The new is here. Yes.
New is here.
Yes.
I have to tell my dad.
All right. All right. Who wants to share that verse with us next week? Who wants to make a video for our sermon next week?
Ryan, you just did it.
Does someone else want to do it before we give it to Ryan? Micah, you want to do it? All right. Micah's going to do our verse this week. All right. All right. We will come back next week and find out what our next color is. Sound good, guys? Yeah. All right. I had so much fun doing story time with you guys today. Thanks for coming to join us. Hold on, Micah. We can't hear you. Let me unmute you. What's up, Micah? Oh. What's up, Micah?
I forgot just one color.
What color did you forget?
The one after the yellow.
Oh, so yellow was creation when God made everything very, very good. And then what did people do? What did Adam and Eve do?
It was the one after the black one.
Oh, so the one after black was last week. What holiday was last week?
Easter.
Easter. And what happened on Easter?
God rose from the dead.
Yes. And what came out of Jesus before he rose from the dead when he was dying?
Joy.
Joy, yes, he was full of joy when he came back to life. But before that, when he was dying, he wasn't very joyful. He was hurting really bad. What do you see on your knee when you skin your knee and it hurts really bad? What is that?
Blood?
Yes, so what color is blood?
Red.
Yes, so what color comes after our black sinful hearts?
Red.
Yes, so red was for Easter. Red is from last week. Yeah. Right? Okay. Thank you guys. I can't wait to see you guys next week.
Yay.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.